So we've been absent from YouTube.
How long has it been?
Since May.
Since May, yeah. Obviously, a lot of things have happened in between then and now. Far more important things were going on. I made a short film that was far more pressing than anything we were going to do on this channel. That may or may not be up by the time this is up. If it is, I'll put a link in description. And we moved. So obviously Twilight is a hot topic right now. Midnight Sun was just released. Peep the collection in the back. We've obviously bought it. I haven't read it and I will not be reading it for a long time. It takes me around roughly 10 years to read a book because I am dyslexic.
And I will not be reading it anytime soon because I need to finish my dissertation.
So on to the legendary Twilight 2008. The inaugural title in the saga. Boy oh boy, what a cinematic masterpiece.
What a legend of the art of cinema, you know, like...
Yeah.
It's everything. It's a comedy, it's a drama, it's a teen drama, it's a musical. It's not a musical. But it's everything.
Alfred Hitchcock is shaking. He is shaking. This movie gets a lot of shit, but I genuinely do think it is a good movie. But I do think it is because I saw it as a teenager. I don't think if anyone who sees it with adult eyes will have no idea what the fascination is about this movie. You had to experience it as a child to really understand the cultural meaning, the excitement, the
way that we were all Bella and we all wanted Edward and whatever we wanted. I don't know, it's just, I think that you have to be in the right age to fully embrace it.
Yeah. Something I absolutely hate is when adults like shit on movies intended for children. Just, it's a teen movie. It's not supposed to be the fucking, I don't know, Mona Lisa of cinema. It's supposed to be a teen movie for teens.
That obviously, like when you're older and you rewatch it and you find like every issue, and when you're sort of like deconstructed, you can see like, oh, well, was this toxic or not? But I think that, I don't know, it was enjoyable.
So speaking of the many issues and also peaks of the film, let's just dive right in. So, cinematography.
I personally loved it. I think that the filter, like, which is blue, kind of grey.
Yeah, blue-grey.
In my opinion, it was amazing. Like, it did give Forks.
Okay, amazing.
It was amazing. It did give Forks, you know, that idea that it was grey and it was always raining. And I don't know, I personally think that it looks cool.
I don't think the filter was even really that noticeable.
Delusions!
I just thought it was just well shot in general. Like, it was a pretty beautiful movie. Like, the scene where Edward is playing Bella's Lullaby, I believe. Is it Bella's Lullaby? Was beautiful. Like, that was beautifully shot.
At the beach? I think that scene of the beach is also really, like, nice. Like, the colors and, like, the sea on one side and, like, I don't know. It's just, like, I like it.
The special effects did leave something to the imagination, but it's not like they had a massive budget, and they weren't awful.
Yeah, I think they're nice, you know, like, very, like, human. Like, the baseball scene, that was mainly done by, like, the actors themselves, so I think that it was really well achieved.
Yeah, so no complaints in the cinematography department. However, moving on to writing and dialogue. I just in general really love teen movies. There's something about the teen genre that I really enjoy. I think I'm just very nostalgic for it. But I have a huge issue with movies who clearly have never spoken to, like, these writers, directors, everyone involved in making movies where teens talk like people wearing a wire trying to infiltrate a school who have never heard or seen a teen in their entire lives. And this is exactly my problem with the dialogue in Twilight, specifically the first movie. The way Bella's friends speak, disgusting.
I personally didn't have that much of an issue with that because I always thought, like, even when I was reading the book, it was like, wow, this is cringe, people don't talk like that. But I was like, yeah, maybe this is because it's a USA book, I'm just chilling. And, you know, I don't know if this is real or not.
If any people from the USA are watching, please tell me if you speak like this, because I know you do not.
It was in 2006.
It doesn't matter. Nobody spoke like this. Oh, I'm just gonna try and recall some of my favourites off the top of my head.
Also, the fact that it's a book about vampires, but the thing that bothers you because it's really fake, it's the fact that they don't speak like teenagers. Wow.
Right. The fantasy is the vampires, right? But at least make the reality real. You know what I mean? I think, we'll get to this in a minute, but I think they made vampires very realistic in the sense that they're not this ghoulish thing. But again, moving on. Some of the worst lines. So at lunch, Eric's talking about going to the beach and surfing, and says something to the effect of, and I don't just surf the internet. I don't think that sentence has been used since 1998, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I feel like that's something that one of the vampires will say because they're old.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're basically pretending to be the teenagers. They should sound a little out of time. But these just sound like Eric sounds like someone's cringe father trying to be down with the kids. Another classic line from Eric. Talking about a beach that is called La Push. He just says, La Push, baby, it's La Push. How is Eric not being bullied is my question. Like, why would you say this? Like, who talks like this? Not to say there isn't cringe dialogue between...
I just remembered the best one.
Wait, what?
Is she even Italian?
Again, I don't think that's cringe. That's just really funny. That was just a very funny line. When Bella walks into the kitchen, they're cooking for her something Italian.
And Rosalie's like, is she even Italian?
Yeah. Rosalie had some one-liners, man. Again, something that will never leave me is when I think Emmett climbed up a tree when they were playing baseball in the field. And she was like, my monkey man. That's so gross. I cannot get it out of my head.
What about acting?
Okay, acting. People always have an issue with the acting. And to a certain extent, I get it. But you can't make bad lines work all the time. There's not much you can do with it. You know what I mean? Having said that, I don't think the performances were that terrible.
Delusions!
I mean, they were working with what they had. One of the things that I always see people like saying is like how they don't like the way Kristen Stewart acts in this film. But like, have you read the books? Like, Bella is such a boring character, like very relatable. But like, I feel like Kristen Stewart did a really good job because that's who Bella is, you know. She's like playing, she's like very shy and like she doesn't do much. And Edward is just old, you know, like he's really old. So it makes sense that he was a bit off.
But yeah, I think the chemistry between the characters are good. Obviously, between Bella and Edward, I think the chemistry is there. It's great. I think I love the relationship between Bella's dad, Charlie, and Bella.
I love that she calls him Charlie. I know that you're not a fan of that. I don't know, it's like, I'm not gonna say like a personal thing, but I feel like it shows like a different connection with like your parents. There's more trust.
I don't mind it here. I really don't mind it here. I think it makes sense because they didn't have a great relationship. She doesn't like to call him dad. He hasn't been in her life very often. Not like because he's not wanted to. It's just, you can tell that it's a little bit of an uneasy relationship. So Charlie feels more appropriate for her, and that makes sense. And then I think it becomes a term of endearment.
Also from all of the teenagers in the film, like I feel like Jessica was like the most
realistic,
fun.
could act. Yeah, I think the problem was also not only the dialogue for the teens, but the fact that they aren't great actors.
I mean, the girls could act.
Yeah, the girls are great. Anna Kendrick, I personally think, is a good actress, so you know
she's
did well.
funny and like that's what like Jessica did in the films more than in the books, like
comic relief. What do you think about the I don't even know what you'd call them as a group, but the bad vampires?
Oh, hot.
I mean, yeah. Oh, original Victoria. Love Bryce Dallas Howard as an actress. Love her. But original Victoria
What's
was...
her name?
God knows. But yeah, James, I think he played the part very well. Again, it was a little cringe because it's a little teen. He's supposed to be dangerous. He's supposed to be, you know, hot. I do think the whole, the climactic scene in the ballet theatre hall thing, I think that was really well played out. I mean, the growling was a little much for me. The snarling was a bit cringe.
But they do that. They had to do that.
They do that, yeah. You know how vampires,
Yeah.
you know, classically in literature snarl and grin.
When they were snarling in the baseball field, that's the part that I thought that was really cringe. When they were all like, you know, like...
Oh god, yeah, like they were f***ing cats. Like, it's so embarrassing.
I mean, remember that each one of them resembled a cat. Don't forget that. At least, like...
What?
Yeah, that, like, I mean, it was in the book, so I think that's not relevant, but, like, all of them
What
were
book?
supposed to hunt and be, like, a cat, a big cat.
The mind of Stephanie Meyer never ceases to amaze me. Soundtrack and score. I think overall, like, the Twilight soundtracks still hold up. Like, they're
If
still
there is
decent.
something that the Twilight Saga did for the industry, was giving us amazing scores.
For the industry.
Yeah.
Do you think they changed the industry? I think you mean their lasting impression.
I don't know, but I think that, like, the bands that they use, like, the singers, oh my god, it's just amazing.
I personally think singer-songwriter Robert Pattinson needs
Please
more
sign,
love.
bitch.
I will let him sign. I love him. I love that we got to hear a bit of his voice. I don't know why he isn't more prominent in the music industry.
I mean, he's doing more of them now because thanks
he
to
just keeps-
A24.
He just keeps jumping on soundtracks now because people know he can do this. But
Yeah.
that's why I love whenever he has a new film out, because you know
Yeah.
we'll get a new song. But yeah, the soundtrack really, really complemented the film. Like, and I think that's throughout all the films. Like, they really complement a film.
The impact of Bella's lullaby that is
Oh.
still present today.
Honestly, I love that melody. That was so... It's like... That is like the Harry Potter opening thing for me. That's honestly how big it is for me. But yeah, I'm not so much into the score. That's more your
I
department.
just love the score. I think that Carter Burwell, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name, but, like, I think he's brilliant. Like, I don't know. He did, like, he's also the one, did the score for Carol as well, so it's just great, you know.
So he's really great at depression and haunting and longing. You know, those
Very
kind of
my
feelings.
things.
Yeah.
Decode and everything
Oh
that
my
Muse
god.
did.
How could I forget Decode? That song.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't done that. But like, genuinely, that is one of the best songs Paramore have ever done.
That's that was a cultural reset.
Supermassive Black Hole. Again, the pairing of that track with the scene in the baseball field, iconic, legendary, never done before, shit on it, vomit, all that.
It raised millions for the LGBT. Like, it just...
What? What?
That's a meme. That's a meme.
Oh!
Raised millions. Yeah, that was just amazing. Like, that scene is
I
just...
love the fact that I've just been like, it did what? How old am I? Like, what the f*** is wrong with me? I remember that I personally went to see this, and I still have like the little movie stubs, because back in my day, you got little movie stubs. I saw it like 3 times. At that point, I'd never been to see a film that much. And that was it. That was it for me. Like, I was hooked, and I can still, to this day, I could watch this film over and over again, and I have, and will. It's not my favourite. It's not my favourite of the entire saga, but I think it just has such a nostalgic place in my mind, because this was like my first dip into the world of Twilight, and I was just like immediately hooked.
I didn't go to the cinema to see this one because I didn't go to the cinema. So my mom got me like an illegal copy of the film, and the first time that I watched that, I watched it with my cousin, and it was after I saw it, like months afterwards, that I realized that the copy that my mom got had censored the kiss.
What? What?
So, like, for some reason, like, when, like, he's in the room and, like, in that scene, like, it just cuts till, like, when he leaves the room, and, like, I had no idea that, like, there was a scene in between. So, like, it was so unfair that I didn't get to see that the first time, you know? Like, it ruined the film. But yeah, and I also remember, like, when they're in the field thing, how's it called?
The meadow.
Yeah, and they're sort of like laying on their back. My cousin thought that it was porn. So like, she was like, oh my god, what are we watching? And I was like, girl, they're wearing clothes.
That's like-
they're just laying down.
That is the least pornographic scene. First of all, I always think at that scene they look dead. Like, their body, the way they lie just looks so mangled.
Yeah, and they look so
dead.
uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah, they look like
who
they've got
lays
broken
like that?
limbs.
Yeah. In conclusion, Twilight is a game changer. It changed cinema. It changed the industry.
Delusions!
Yeah, so that's it. That is our thoughts on Twilight.
Hopefully we'll see you soonish for a new moon.
Hopefully we won't take a few more months to make the next one. Until next time, keep watching.